Hi there, welcome to this week's Minimizer video blog, our 20th edition of the video blog since we started it back in March. And I'm going to turn things over to our CEO, Craig Kruckeberg, as he introduces you to our newest piece of heavy machinery.
What we have here is our grinder, because we like to use a closed loop process with our plastic. And so we keep it clean, we keep the dirt out of it. So what we do is we take large sheets and the cutoffs from all our plastic fenders and our toolboxes, and then we regrind it back up, and then we send it back to the plastic manufacturer, and they reuse it. So it's not going into the landfills and so forth. We're big believers of keeping everything closed loop and reusing it back into our stuff and ourselves to help the world out, what we can for the recycling process and so on and so forth. So this piece of equipment. It hasn't run apart yet, hasn't run apart through it yet. Like the guys asked me if I'd like to have a shot at it, being that I got to run the first two. So they asked if I wanted to do the first part for the third machine. Well, our older one doesn't have a conveyor belt, and our older one, the parts had to be cut down smaller to fit in the throat and everything. And the older one could only do 2,000 to 2,500 pounds in a 10-hour period of processing the plastic and grinding down a drop. Okay, this one here now, as you can see, it has a conveyor because of the throat size and the drop into the blades and into the grinding area. It's just a lot bigger unit. And this unit will do 20,000 pounds in a 10-hour period. So we get to add a zero to the process in a 10-hour period. So this is the control panel to fire this thing up. So you've seen the size of the motor and the size of the grinder. We have to take it in steps. We have the blower, and then the big motor for the grinder, and then the conveyor belt. And so the first one we're going to turn on here is going to be the blower, and we'll let that go for a few seconds, even itself out. And then the second one is going to be the grinder itself. Wow, so far so good, Kind of impressive on the guys' behalf. Okay, so far everything's working. So Caleb, if we see any sparks, we're out of here, right? We got that, okay? Just make sure you get that video. All right, and then the last one's going to be the conveyor that we're going to fire up, and then we'll get some shots. I'm going to toss some parts on there, and we'll try to go through the process and see from start to finish how this bad boy works. And I got green lights all the way. Conveyor's on, blower's on, the grinder's on. Let's go load this thing up and make it work. My father's going to be fascinated, and so am I. If this thing goes into that throat up there and goes through, we should have bought this thing 32 years ago. But for the $150,000 price tag that this thing is, 32 years ago, that wasn't even on the radar. That wasn't even possible. I think we paid like $600 for our very first hammer mill. So let's give it a shot, because all the guys are kind of standing here watching going, okay, we ain't never tossed the whole part in. You've never tossed the whole part in, right? Okay, so this is the first for everybody. So Caleb, things go bad, just get video. No picture? Come on, I want to be on TV. Right, Caleb? Okay, so get the picture, because this is going to be pretty interesting, so I can send it to my folks and my father and show them, haha, guess what we got. So, okay, so here we go. Let's see what happens. Well, this will be more than interesting. So as you can see, it just works its way up the conveyor belt. So if the guys have a bad part, which we don't like to see, they can sneak it over here and toss it on the conveyor belt and just throw it right into the conveyor belt, and let's see if she goes into the throat and works. Yeah, well, that's gone. That completely disappeared. Man, that would have been nice and handy in the old days when we were still learning how to make fenders. So the guys asked if I wanted to work a 10-hour day to do this, and so I got a couple more parts I want to throw in just because this is going to be fun for me, for now anyway. And so, the guys keep telling me just load up the conveyor belt, so I'm going to sit here and sweat to death, and I'm going to load up this conveyor belt and see if you plug it up. So, yeah. Wow, we've never ground up this many pieces at one time. So, wow, 32 years later, the technology I wish we would have had. So, that's that. Like I said, welcome to the Minimizers plant, and we just like to show you what we do every day and how we do it. Have a great day.